Hello and welcome to another tutorial here at CapoX Productions. My name is David. Today we're going to be looking at the fingerstyle tutorial for My Future by Billie Eilish. I ranked this arrangement around 5.5 stars out of a possible 8, meaning that it's sort of intermediate level difficulty. If you do find this tutorial a little challenging, I want to encourage you to check out my fingerstyle fast track module. That's just over here. It's specifically designed to take you from absolute beginner all the way through to intermediate level in a short space of time. I've also put a preview in the description, so I want to encourage you to check that out. Okay, let's get started. Okay, in this part of the tutorial, I'm going to go through bar by bar and give you an idea of what's going on with the left and right hands. The first thing you need to know about this is that you want to start off with your capo on the 3rd fret if you want to play it in the original key. The second thing is that this piece is split into two kind of definitive sections. The first one is kind of a really chilled out mellow part, which revolves a lot around these really pretty jazzy chords that are a lot of fun to play. And the second part's a little bit more upbeat. So let's start off with the pickup bar, where we start off with the 2nd fret. That first chord in the first bar is kind of important because I'm spreading the chord with the right hand. So instead of playing them all at the same time, like that, I'm spreading them, which really creates a great effect by highlighting the top note, which is also the melody. Normally it would be, but by spreading the chord, you hear the melody and you hear the supporting parts together, and they don't kind of interfere with each other. So I want to encourage you guys to try and get that technique. Thumb, index, middle, ring, nice and slow. It's a good thing to get down. Nice little grace note. You play the open string and hammer on as quickly as you can. And then the same thing in the second bar, spreading the chord. And we have this nice dominant ninth chord. Oh, beautiful. And then here we have kind of like a F major 7th with an artificial harmonic with the right hand. It's like... that's quite important. If you haven't played artificial harmonics with your right hand before, index finger out right over 12 frets above what your left hand is playing. So you're playing the 3rd fret, 3 plus 12 is 15. So you're going to take your index finger, lightly touch the 15th over the 15th fret on the 5th string. And then your ring finger is going to pluck the string while you're touching it lightly. Get this nice bell type effect. Hopefully I explained that well. It can be a bit confusing. So if you haven't done this before, yeah, maybe just practice it. And hopefully you can get it down. Then, end of bar 3. Bar 4, artificial harmonics again. I'll give you a bit of an idea just to help you with these, because it's important to see with the right hand exactly what I'm doing. I'll just give you a bit of an angle. So yeah, holding the bar with your left hand, and then index finger, and then my ring finger is plucking the string. And yeah, if you're on the wrong fret, you'll notice that you don't get the same effect. So it's very important that you're exactly in the right position to get that sound. Okay, so that's the end of bar 4. Let's move on, bar 5. And then again, this grace note where you hammer on very quickly. Also an important thing to practice there. From bar 6 again is the same as bar 2. Bar 5 is the same as bar 1 more or less. Here, at the end of bar 6, we have a slight variation. 3rd finger sliding back into this major 7th shape. And then this beautiful minor 4 chord. There I like to do a bit of a crescendo on those open D strings, open 4th string, getting louder so it leads into bar 9 and you're nice and strong there. And then here, some very simple chords that are really effective. This is probably my favorite part of this arrangement. Again, some harmonics. Some more harmonics. And then we go into, I think this is kind of like the chorus. Kind of a C7 shape. And then from bar 14 into bar 15, again another F major 7th shape. And then here it's quite important that we pivot. As we go to our pinky finger, we pivot into this bar on the 1st fret. That kind of section repeats again. So that's important from bar 18. The last beat of bar 18, we have these semiquavers. So the actual rhythm would be da 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 da. But I'm being a little bit more flexible and free with that section. So you find this quite a lot in classical music, that instead of playing ba 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 like perfectly in time, you just give yourself a little bit of time to play the line, and it just makes it much more musical and interesting, and gives the phrase more direction when you kind of, you know, you lean into the chord that you're heading into, and just provide a bit of space for the melody to, I don't know, just kind of do its thing. I hope I'm making sense. That sounds a little bit convoluted, so sorry. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, this part, it's kind of important getting used to exactly when you need to move to the bar. Dun, da, dun, da, da. The same thing, I'm usually waiting till I get to the pinky finger just to shift. Da, 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 da. All right, bar 21, we're moving into the section that has the more upbeat feel to it. You start off with this wrist thump and the bass notes. Yeah, that's bar 22 and 23. Let's just play that again. Yeah, and then we go into bar 24, similar thing. I've spoken about this a little bit before, is strumming and hitting. So as you strum, you're hitting with your thumb and you're strumming with your index finger at the same time. That's where you see all those down arrows, bar 24, bar 25, bar 23, bar 22 as well. Down with your index finger and then into the string with your thumb, so you get the percussive effect. That's an important thing to practice. Then is that bar 26? Yeah, we have this kind of cool strumming effect. Let's just go from the beginning of 26. Let me go from a little bit earlier to make it easier for myself. Yeah, and this is kind of like a very funky type of strumming pattern that they've included. Up, up, up hits. Barring with the third finger, index finger on the third fret. So that's also one that might take some practicing. Then from bar 27. Yeah, bar 29 is kind of a little similar to the end of bar 26. So just watch that strumming pattern. Up, up, up hits. Yeah. And then be sure to hold that bar for the course of bar 27, 28. Moving on to bar 30, exactly what we had before in the more chilled section, except we add a little bit of a percussive feel to it. So what's important here, bar 33, when we're doing this up strum thing, that you're muting all of these strings with your left hand. That's important to make sure that you're muting everything so you can strum. But the only notes that you're hearing are these two. You don't want to hear the fifth string. You don't want to hear the fourth string. Whoops. You can get away with hearing the fourth string a little bit because it kind of sounds okay. But you really just want to be holding these two notes down. And then 34. And then this minor shape. And then we go into the chorus with the percussive thing. That makes it a little bit tricky. Da. So what I do here is a bit of a trick. Pull off at the beginning of bar 38. And then play the 2. And as you pull off on the 2, you're going to play the hit at the same time. Notice that I'm not playing the open with my right hand. I'm actually just sounding it with my left hand. And while I'm pulling off, I'm hitting with my thumb. Like that. So that's a good thing just to try and practice. .40. Same thing here, bar 43. I'm sounding the 5th fret and then hitting at the same time. And then we'll hop back to the 1st fret and then this minor shape again. And then, yeah. Back to bar 38 and it repeats. Okay, and that's pretty much the whole thing. At the very end, some people have asked me about this. It's a good thing to practice. The old snake rattle. Thumb, and ring finger or middle finger or index finger even. You can kind of figure out which is most comfortable and practice rapidly alternating between a finger and your thumb. And it can create quite a cool little percussive effect, especially when you get to the end of a piece. The only difference here is I'm using my thumb on the strings and my finger on the body of the guitar. That pretty much concludes this tutorial. I want to say thanks for watching, and yeah, want to encourage you to support me on Patreon or check me out on Facebook or Instagram. You can see those links in the description. And I hope you guys have a wonderful time practicing this, and I'll see you next time.